I've noticed there's this one thing that my body obviously can't handle anymore. I don't know how that happened or when it actually happened. It must have happened somehow overnight or so, but my body can't handle that anymore. I am talking about parties. I don't know what happened, but I can't handle parties anymore. And looking at the things that are happening on my channel right now, that gives me a little headache. And sometimes, mainly in the evenings, I'm thinking to myself, okay, Luise, let's try it. Let's try to make a little party, yeah? I mean, I don't have friends in my real life here around me that could invite me to a party. So I'm sometimes thinking, let's try, a one-woman party with myself. So sometimes I'm taking some, little bit alcohol with some ice cubes, and I think, okay, let's do this. That can't be so hard. And while I'm doing it with myself, a party with myself, it's absolutely no problem. But don't ask about the next morning. The next morning is really hard. I mean, I'm trying to get out of my bed, and it would be, do you know this situation? When it's easier to tell which of your body parts don't hurt instead of telling which are hurting. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm trying to find my coffee machine. That is also a really big problem because sometimes I even can't find the place where my coffee machine is. I take my coffee and I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? Because my body doesn't want to work anymore after such an evening. And another thing is, I realized that, perhaps it's the age or something, that I can't drink beverages with bubbles anymore. I don't know, but that is not good for my stomach. So that means cocktail parties, for example, that's not my thing anymore. But that is a really big problem. I mean, imagine you can't handle parties anymore, but look at the number that is written below my channel name here on YouTube. There it says 40k subscribers. I mean, it's a catastrophe because, of course, we need to make a 40k party. I mean, there's no way without that. So I thought, how can I manage to make a 40k subscriber party here on my channel? And I came to the idea, very clever, Luise, to split my party into 4 pieces. Yeah, so you will get 4 videos in total. This, by the way, is the first of those 4 during the next 4 weeks. Yeah, do you understand what I thought? 4 videos, 4 parts of the party, 4 weeks, 40k subscribers. Does that make sense? Hopefully. So I thought, perhaps I'm not alone. I mean, somehow I'm hoping that I'm not alone and that some of you might think the same things about parties, and perhaps it's for some of you also easier to have 4 tiny parties instead of 1 big party. So that means this is the first part of the party. Next week, exactly in 7 days, we are going to celebrate the second part of this party. In the next week after that, we are going to celebrate the third part and so on. So then we have 4 parts of this party in 4 weeks. And I'm really happy that you found this video and that you found to this first part of the party, even without an invitation. I mean, how crazy would that be? I would have to send out 40k invitations. Of course, that's not possible. So I'm really happy that you are here. If this is your first video and you perhaps are here by accident or somehow else, welcome. My name is Luise Heinzel. I'm really happy that you are here. And if you are following me for a longer time, I'm of course also happy that you found this video. So let's go right into this. today we are going to start with the first of a total of 2 giveaways. You might think, what the heck is she talking there? What the heck? Why do we have 2 giveaways? That is really easy. I thought I would like to reach the most of you out there. I want to be fair. I want to have a chance for everyone. Of course, I can't send out 40k prizes. Yeah, that's not possible. But I wanted to give you as much as I can. And I was a little bit in, yeah, like a confusing situation, a little like mini catastrophe, because, I mean, it's not so bad, but I thought there are many people out there who enjoyed my tag challenges I have done in the past when I had, for example, 10k, 20k and so on. Yeah, if you are following my channel for a longer time, you perhaps might know those challenges and you really enjoyed those challenges. So I thought we are going to make a tag challenge again. And I'm making it like, I'm doing like this because we have some changes compared to the other challenges that you might know from my channel. I will go into detail about that in a second. So that is going to be the first giveaway, a tag challenge. So you have to create something to enter the giveaway. For the second giveaway, I wanted to have something where you don't have to do anything except of writing a comment. So that is going to come. That is not happening in this video. Because I thought there are some people who don't have the chance to create something at the moment. Perhaps you don't have time. Perhaps you are not in the mood of creating something. Perhaps you think, well, I hate tags or so. Perhaps you are also in another niche than I am, yeah, because there are in the meantime a lot of, for example, card makers who are watching my videos, and perhaps you're not so into junk journaling and tag making, and perhaps a tag challenge is totally boring for you. That could be. So I thought, let's do a second giveaway where you just can win something without the need of creating something. But I wanted to give the other people the chance to create something because you have enjoyed it in the past. Does that make sense? Hopefully. So in this video, we are going to do this tag challenge. I will give you every information that you need, you know, later in the video. And in one of the next videos, there's going to come the second giveaway, where you can win something without doing anything, except of writing a comment. Then, within those 4 videos, we are also going to have something that has never happened on my channel before. So that is something that I have never done before, and to be honest, I'm really excited to do that. That is something where I also want to give away something that I have created. That is actually something that is really special to me. So stay tuned for that. And in those 4 videos, which make the whole party, there are also hidden some surprises for you. So it could be worth it to watch the videos from start to finish, because you'll never know when the next surprise could pop up. Yeah, I will mix them randomly into those videos so that it is, yeah, the most possible surprise for you. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, just leave a comment below and I will try to answer your questions. Of course, I will not answer something about the surprises that will come. Yeah, but if there are any other questions, you haven't understand what I said or whatever, just feel free to leave a comment and ask what you want. And I will give you all of the information that you need to know for the giveaways and the other things that are going to come within the 4 videos, step by step. Yeah, I will not overload you with information in this video, but I will give you everything you need to know when it's time that you need to know that. Do you know what I mean? So in this video, you will get all of the information you need for joining this first giveaway, this tag challenge that we're going to do in this video. And in the coming videos, you will get the other information that you need for the rest. And I would also like to take the 4 videos to talk about different themes that are laying on my heart and my soul for a while. Don't panic, it's nothing bad, yeah, that are all positive things. But I thought I have several different themes that I would like to talk about that have to do with my work, with my channel, with you as my viewers, of course. And to be honest, I thought if I put those themes into these 4 videos, I can reach the most of you. Yeah, be honest to yourself. If there's a giveaway, you can win something or you can get something for free. You will click to those videos. Yeah, that's a totally normal thing. So I thought I can reach the most of you with these videos. So you can expect some little Luise talks within these 4 videos as well. But now let's do the tag challenge and let's go right into the first giveaway. So I'm hoping that you are ready to create something really cool together with me. So let's turn the camera and let's start. Yay! Okay, so here we go. Hot coffee, everything we need, right? Are you ready for this tag challenge? I think I heard a yes. If no, I can't help you because I think I have an idea that is really, really cool. And to be honest, I'm hoping that I can blow your mind a little bit. So how does this whole thing work? In the following part of this video, I'm going to show you how I make 4 tags out of a masterboard. Please don't panic. 4 tags, that sounds a lot at first glance, but with my method, it isn't really much. It takes only a few minutes. And that is also something that was really important for me, so that, I mean, when it doesn't take too long, everyone has the chance to join, yeah? But I think a set of tags is always really great. And perhaps you are asking, why the heck 4, yeah? I mean, that is relatively easy. 40K, we are going to make 4 tags, yeah? I hope that makes sense. What is the easiest way to create a background for a tag? Think about that for a second. I heard you saying masterboard. That is true. For me, I mean, that is a personal thing, yeah? But for me, a masterboard is a really, really good starting point for making tags, especially when you are a beginner. Especially when you have things laying around that you don't need anymore or things that you want to use up. If you don't know what a masterboard is, let me quickly explain that. Normally, and I say normally because I will do it differently in this video. Normally, you would take a piece of paper, you would glue scraps to this piece of paper, you would then perhaps stamp to the surface, you would perhaps stencil, glue stickers, or stamp and then glue more scraps. You could also add texture by gluing some fabric or lace or whatever else material you have. And then later on, you would either make a copy of your masterboard and use the copy as the base for your tags, just cut it down, or you would use the original masterboard. And some people even cut the masterboards blind, meaning from the other side, so that they don't see where they are cutting. And when they turn the pieces around, they have a really, really beautiful base for making a tag. But I thought I want that everyone, also those people who don't have so much time, can join this giveaway. So to enter the giveaway, you need a set of 4 tags in the end, and you can decide if you want to follow my little tutorial here step by step, and if you want to do it exactly like I'm doing it here, then you could also use what I have prepared here for you. Or you can say, okay, I have an idea, I have soaked some inspiration from Luise's video, I need 4 tags, but I will not follow the tutorial, I will do my own tags. That is of course also possible. But for entering the giveaway, you would need a set of 4 tags that you have created for this challenge. I will go into detail what you have to do with those tags later on in the video. Yeah, first of all, I would like to create these because, you know, I want to start. I want to tell you about my new idea that I have for those masterboards. And later on, I will tell you, you know, the deadline and everything that you have to do with those 4 tags that you have created. When I think about masterboards, it's a little bit like an angel and a devil are talking to me. Do you know what I mean? On the one hand, the angel says, it's really, really cool. It's a really nice base, such a masterboard, for making tags. But the devil says, oh, you have to take out your glue, you have to find scraps. I mean, everyone has scraps, yeah, but you know what I mean. It's a relatively big effort. No effort, is that the right word? But it's also time consuming. Do you know what I mean? Gluing all of the scraps down, and then you probably have to wait until the glue is dry. If you want to add some wet mediums, that takes time. And of course, it is really like a meditative process making a masterboard. Yeah, I don't want to say anything bad against masterboards in their traditional way of making them, but I thought, why don't we make a lazy masterboard? And I thought about a way how you can make like, yeah, a masterboard that takes only a few minutes and use that for a base for your tags. So I have created a freebie for you. We have one page which is a little bit more colorful, and this page which is a little bit more neutral. Excuse me, please. And you can find these as a freebie on my website. The link is down below in the description box. I will use this as my base today and also to demonstrate my idea behind the lazy masterboard. But please feel free to use any other kind of material that you have. If you, for example, don't like these papers, or if you don't have a printer, or if you think after watching the video, I have an idea, but that doesn't work with this paper, please feel free to use what you have. Yeah, you don't have to use what I'm using here, and you don't have to follow each step of my tutorial. You can just vary that like you want. Yeah, the main goal is, if you want to join the giveaway, you have to have 4 tags in the end. So these are 2 pages from a new printable which I have in my shop. As you can guess, the printable is called Lazy Masterboards. I will just show you the preview picture so that if you want to check that out in my shop, you can remember this picture. And here you can also see the title, which you could use to search in my shop, but you will also find the direct link to this item down below in the description box. And you can see basically 2 or 3 things here. I have written journal backgrounds here because, of course, you could use each of those pages as a normal journal page as well. Yeah, just take this and fold that in half, and you would have a really nice neutral page for your journal, where you have the chance to put other things on top, like collages. You have a lot of space for writing, and I've also tried to imitate some stitching. Yeah, I know that these are like only black lines, but I thought I want to have something that is a little bit more abstract. But you could also use this as a guideline to stitch over this with your sewing machine to get an additional texture to your paper. So these are really versatile. And of course, you could use all of these designs for making more lazy masterboards after you have watched this video and perhaps your mind was blown and then perhaps you want to make more. Then you could use all of these designs. And as you can see, this has 50 pages, so this is a ton, yeah, of different designs. They are all different, and we have some that are like more colorful and some that are more neutral. I tried to get like a really nice mix out of different color variations, color palettes. Here you can read, this is DIN A4, so this is centimeter, yeah, 21 by 29.7 centimeters. That is basically DIN A4. You can also find this in US letter size in my shop. So just make sure that you choose the one where it says 8.5 by 11 inches. Yeah, then you would have US letter size, and you can just then print them out on a full sheet of paper like I did here with DNA 4. Normally you can get this for a really good deal price in my shop. Yeah, so these are 50 pages and the normal price I would say is really cheap. That is a really good deal. But for all of you who watch this video and follow me here on YouTube, I want to show my appreciation, and I will give you 40% discount on this. You just have to use this code here. You can put that into this little box at the end of your order. So I hope that that is something that you will enjoy. So let's start with this. If you want to do this and you don't want to use the printables, then please think about the papers that you want to use to start with. Yeah, you need 2 papers which have the same size. It doesn't really matter which size it is, but I want to give you some tips how to decide about the size. So this is DNA 4. So if you would use US letter size, so just a full sheet of paper, that would be just fine. You need 2 of them. I can recommend to use a paper which is not too thin, but also not too thick, because we want to cut something out from one of the papers later. So make sure that that is possible with the material that you have chosen, and the thickness of the paper. And please choose your papers not too small, because one of our tags, I will show you a finished result from the German video. Don't be confused, this is the back side, yeah? But I don't want to show you the front, because then the surprise has gone. You know, it's just a tag. But the size later will be approximately like this, yeah? Because we will cut this paper in half, and then later on we will cut it like this and like this, so that then 1/8 of the whole sheet is the size of the tag in the end. So that means if you have a smaller paper to start with, the end result of the tag will get also relatively small. Perhaps you want to have that in mind when you choose the size of your paper. So a lazy masterboard, what is that? It is something where the first and most annoying step, gluing scraps down, is already done. As you can see here, we already have scraps. They are not textured, I know that, but they are here, and you don't have to struggle with gluing them down. You already have them. And now you can decide. I'm sorry, I have to take a sip of my coffee. My throat is like, oh. So you can decide what you want to do here now. You can handle this like a normal masterboard, yeah? You can glue additional scraps, for example. Just glue them here. You can glue tape. You can print on this. You can stamp. You can emboss this with an embossing folder. You can do everything, yeah? Stamping, stenciling, whatever you have. Throw some paint on it. Or, you know, crumble it, throw it into your trash can and take it out again and have a piece of art. Do you know what I mean? Do what you want. But today I'm lazy, and I will do the most easiest thing I can imagine. And that for me, and that doesn't have to be the same for you, yeah? Please decide what you want to do now. For me, the easiest thing is to stencil. So I want to choose a stencil that I can use to make a beautiful pattern, and I think I will use this one. That really doesn't matter. That is relatively abstract. Can we perhaps find a second one which is a little bit more concrete? Ooh, I mean concrete in a not so rectangular-ish way. Is that a word? So I have chosen this one. from Tim Holtz and Stampers Anonymous has the number THS157, and this one, also by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz, has the number THS026. And I'm going to use some Distress Oxide inks to stencil through both of these. I have decided for pumice stone and frayed burlap. Barbara, did you understand why? It's a little homage to my friend Barbara at 49 Dragonflies, because she always, in the meantime, she got the control over the name of this color, but she always said braid furlap. Perhaps you remember that. And we made like a little joke about that. And then a few days ago, she has written a really like, you know, joking, angry message to me where she said, "Why didn't you tell me that I need pumice stone in my collection?" And I just got a message that she now has bought pumice stone, and she's really happy about that. So I will use these colors, but you can use whatever you want. And if you don't want to stencil, then please decide what you want to do and just do that. So then let's do this here. Pumice stone. It's just such a great color. And Barbara was like walking in the darkness for such a long time, but now light has come to her craft room. I'm proud of you, Barbara. I'm really proud of you. So we don't need the stencils anymore, so I'm going to put them aside. And then we can, first of all, think, this is beautiful. And this looks already relatively cool. But of course, we can jazz this up even more. And now you can decide, what else do I want to do here? Yeah, and I don't want to repeat myself like a broken record. Please, everything that I do here is optional. You can do that, but you can of course vary that as you want. Yeah, but the next step that I want to do, optional, is stamping. I want to stamp a few black accents to this paper, and I want to start with this stamp here, which comes from the Dots and Circles CMS 382 by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. And I'm going to take this stamp. I want to stamp with VersaFine Clair in this color, where I don't know how to say this word. Basically, it's just black. But please use the color that you like and that you want. And as you can see, I'm putting the ink onto this stamp relatively randomly. I don't want to cover the whole thing because I just want to have it a little bit more artsy. You know, can you see? Then it's a little bit distressed. I mean, the dots of this stamp have these little like distressed edges, but I also want to have the distressing on the dots themselves. So I'm also pressing not too hard, and that's also the reason why I don't use a stamping platform or an acrylic block for stamping, because I want to have this randomly, and I also want to use the second, third and fourth and so on generation of the stamping. So look, then you have something that looks really random, but at the same time interesting and not so the same in every space. Yeah, you could also use like many different stamps. That would also be a possibility. I could also stamp more here if you want to stamp, yeah, and you think, okay, that looks nice. I can recommend to use a stamp which is relatively abstract, like dots, numbers, letters or something like that, because yeah, that looks better than something like, for example, a butterfly or something. You will see that later, because when we cut this thing into tags later, then you know, when you cut a butterfly, or imagine you have a person, a face, yeah, could also be, you have a stamp of a face and you would cut that, then you would perhaps have really weird portions of that stamp later. We want to create something that is a background, so use all of the backgroundish stamps that you might have. So then we can put this aside for a while, and we can take the second paper, which is in my case this one here. And here I also want to stamp. I will first take, I think, the alphabet from this stamp set. This is called Worn Text. The number is CMS 156, also by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. And here you can see, I mean, I have this new, so I haven't, how is that word? Weeded the stamp set. This here normally is meant to take off so that you have the stamps separate. But for this, I mean, we are lazy today, yeah? You can see what I mean in a second. So I'm just taking this whole thing, ink that as randomly as I can, take such a little guy or just a cloth or something, put this whole thing here to my paper and just go over it like it was a stamping platform. And then I have a random stamping here, yeah? And you don't have to use black, yeah? You could also use, of course, any other color that you like for this step. Okay, so that's that. And the next thing that I want to do is I want to cut out some shapes from this second paper, yeah? So this is the paper where we only stamped. The first one was the one where we stenciled and stamped. So when I number these, this is my first paper and this is my second paper. So on this second paper, I want to cut out some shapes so that we can see through this paper to the other paper later. And that brings this look of a normal masterboard, but in a really lazy way. And we will also get some trash, which we can use as collage fodder later at the same time. If you don't have a die cut machine, because you can guess, I will use my die cut machine in a second, then you of course can also take your scissors, a punch, I mean such a punch where you can just press and, you know, punch out some things, but you don't need fancy tools for this step. The main goal is we want to have some holes in this paper where we can see through, yeah? So you can find any other solution for that. You don't need die cuts. If you have die cuts and you want to follow exactly what I'm doing here, I will show you which die cuts I will use in a second. Both of these sets are by Zizix and Tim Holtz. This one with these cool labels has the number 665929 if you want to check that out. And then I want to use these with the number 665925. I'm going to place them relatively randomly here and try to find a nice arrangement. Don't think about this too much. Just lay your die cuts down or whatever you want. I mean, if you use scissors, just cut like you want, but please have one thing in mind. You don't want to have a paper salad in the end. You want to have a piece of paper that has holes, but that you can still lift up in one piece. Yeah, you don't want to cut this into several pieces. These quotes here are really cool and perfect for my lazy masterboard method, because you have these, you know, plates where the whole quote is on this plate, and you can just take this without having the struggle of all of the single letters, and you can just place them where you want. So we are going to do that as well and just put them in here in between of these little labels. And then this here, I mean, it's not so filled, isn't it? That was no English. It's not so filled, is it? Müsste das heißen, oder, Luise? Ja, ich glaube schon. Englisch ist so schwierig. Ah! Okay, so it's not so important that here's nothing. I will take this to my die cut machine and then we will see again. Okay, so here we go. When this is cut out, it looks like this. I mean, this is cool, isn't it? It looks a little bit weird, but I think it's really cool. And the other cool thing is that we get all of these gorgeous pieces which we can now either put into our collage fodder stash, or we could use these for more layers on our lazy masterboard. Yeah, you would get a lot of interesting scraps, which you could of course now use as they are. You could alter them, texture paste, stenciling, stamping, sewing, whatever, splattering with gold or Barbara gold, whatever. Or you could just, you know, put them into your stash, but you would have something that, if you want to use them for the further steps, would fit really well, because we've just cut it out from this material, and of course the color palette would fit perfectly. And from these die cuts here with the sentiments, you would also get the coolest letters ever, because the die cut itself cuts this negative kind of thing, but you will get all of these. I mean, this is not all, yeah, this is just a little example of what you get, but these are just gorgeous. Don't throw this away, please, just use that. But I'm lazy today. I will not take the time to glue these down, but you could do that, yeah. So this goes into my stash of interesting collage fodder. Collage fodder is always interesting, Luise. And we are we go on with this piece of paper. And the next thing that I want to try out is, I want to take this first piece, put that to my table, take the second thing and put that on here so that I can see the contrast of this. Because in a second I want to put the second paper on top of the first paper and attach that there. And as you can see, the contrast is not very big. That is not a surprise, because we've started with a relatively cohesive color palette, yeah, and the contrast is not so big yet. But we can easily make the contrast a little bit bigger just by taking a darker ink or something similar. You could also take a crayon, for example, that gives a totally different effect, but it can look nice as well. So this is, in this case, ground espresso. I want to stay in the same color like with the oxide ink pad I've used a second ago. So I carefully go around the edges here with the crayon, just scribble a little bit, and then you can either smear that with your finger, like this, or you could also, of course, use some water and a paintbrush or a wet baby wipe or something like that. We are just going to try to get some interest to these areas and a little bit more contrast. That's the only goal. And if you don't like contrast, just skip this step. Yeah, you don't have to do this. And then the next thing is, I want to attach these papers to each other. And because I'm lazy today, and because of the fact that this is a lazy masterboard, I will not use glue, but I will use my sewing machine. So I will take this to my sewing machine, make sure that the papers line up really well, and then I will sew first through the middle here, like so, through the middle here in the other direction, and then I will go over the paper with my stitching relatively randomly. So if you don't have a sewing machine, then please just use glue. Yeah, just take this top layer and put glue to the back. Another idea could be to print this to a sticker sheet. Yeah, you know, perhaps there are those like really giant sticker sheets that you can also use in your printer. You could use such a sheet to print this top layer, cut everything out, then peel this stuff from the back and just glue it to the first layer. That would also be possible. Yeah, so I will take this to my sewing machine and then we will see again in a second. Okay, so here I'm back. This now looks like this. Relatively chaotic sewing. I will turn that around so that you can see where I have sewn and how. So as I said, I just went like this, and then I went a little bit crazy. The main goal of this is only to attach both of the papers to each other. So the next thing that we are going to need is either some scissors or a paper cutter, a paper trimmer. And we are going to cut this piece of paper exactly in half, so that we have now two pieces which again have the same size, yeah, like this. And now we want to decide what we want to see as our top layer later. Yeah, we want to do some other steps now, but we want to decide now what shall go to the top layer. And that is hard. I think I want to go with this because I don't like this extreme crayonish look here so well. So here it's a little bit more neutral. So that means we are going to take this and put this aside for a moment. We take this and decide what do we want to add here, or do we want to add something at all? Yeah, you could now put, for example, a layer of vellum here. That would look absolutely amazing. I'm lazy today. I will not do that, but I want to give you options. You could add some like a net or something, you know, from oranges or potatoes or something like that. Something where you can see through, or any other like collage paper or whatever. You could use some postage stamps and glue them down, washi stickers or whatever. Doesn't really matter. You could also now use the things that you got from the steps before, yeah, like these little collage photo pieces or the little letters. You could glue them down, do what you want. I think I want to just add some more stamping. Wonderful. Let's just leave it like that. This we are going to put aside for a moment. We will clean this mess. I'm going to take the layer which I've decided to become the top layer, and I will again cut out some shapes from this layer so that we have more holes in this layer where we can see through and later on see this layer. I will just use exactly the same die cuts I've used before and put them again here and cut some holes into this, and then, you know, I will be back in a second. And now you can, of course, decide if you want to go around here with some crayon or inking or whatever again, like we've done it in the step before, or if you are as lazy as I am today and just leave this as it is. If you want to leave it, then we are ready for the next step. Take this, yeah, and then take this and decide how you want to place this on here. So we are going to basically do the same thing like we've done before. We glue or sew this onto the other layer, and I'm just trying to decide in which direction I want to have that, and try to imagine this is going to become our background for the tags in this in a second. So I think I want to have it like this. Now I'm going to line this up again, and I'm going to sew over it again so that we have one piece where both of these layers are attached to each other. So here we go. Then this looks like this. The back looks crazy again, but that doesn't matter. We need this. And now I'm going to take my paper trimmer again, and I'm first going to make sure that this is really a rectangle, yeah, because here, I mean, I'm not a machine, I'm a human being, yeah. So this went a little bit like offset, and I want to make sure that I have a real rectangle. I want to have my tag shapes, I want to have them, you know, like regular and not too wonky. And then I take this and I will go to my other paper trimmer to be able to cut through the threads, yeah. But basically we are going to cut it now into 4 pieces. We make one cut here and one cut here so that we get 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Okay, so then we have 4 pieces with the same size, and even if this is relatively sturdy, I mean, please imagine, we have not used glue yet. Yeah, no glue involved, but this is relatively sturdy already, but it is not so nice from the back. I mean, you could leave this. There are no rules for how this has to look. Yeah, no problem. If you like that, please leave it. But I like to back this with a little heavier paper. And I also want to have like a tiny frame around my tags. So I will back these pieces with something that is a tiny little bit bigger than this. But first I want to cut the edges here, or the corners here, so that these get like, you know, tag shapes. Line them up. Then I'm going to take a tag from my stash as a template, but please do that like it's comfortable for you and like you feel it's easy for you, like so. Just cut this off. Confetti! Yeah, well, it's a party, Luise, we need confetti as well. So then we have this, and now I'm going to take a little sturdier paper, like this, for example. This is from an older Tim Holtz paper pad. I think this is retired already. I'm not totally sure, but you can, please just take what you have. And now I will put this on here, and I will leave a tiny frame around here, but I will sew that on. Yeah, I want to stay lazy and don't use glue. You could use glue, of course, but for me it's easier to just sew that on, and then we can cut that out and we will have a really nice frame and a nice backside, of course. So next, let's take here a hole punch and let's make some holes, because I want to add a little hole reinforcement here just for a nicer look, and also a little ribbon, even if the material that I've chosen for that isn't ribbon, but you know. So we are going to take this, and I've chosen these white hole reinforcements. You know, I'm lazy. I will put the rings to the back as well, so that we have a nice thing here, a nice detail, and not only the naked hole. And to make this top part a little bit more interesting, I've chosen this thing. I don't know exactly what this is. You could use, you know, whatever you want. And you could also, as with everything, you know, leave this step out or use something different or whatever you want. Put this off. And then it looks like this. So I thought, what are... Oh. What is this? There are those things where I think, why am I doing this here? And why is this camera here? I'm so sorry. So I thought, what do I want to put onto these tags as a focal point? Yeah, because I want to have something nice on this background. And then I thought, I want to use my most favorite things, and that is people and butterflies. So I will do something now that has been done very often in the past, but it's just beautiful and I like it. So I have to do it because I can only be satisfied when I do what I love. So what I'm trying to say is, if you don't want to use people, I'm using the Tim Holtz paper dolls. You don't have to use them. Yeah, I know that there are some people out there who find them really scary. I can't understand that. They are just so fun in my eyes. But of course, you are allowed to find them scary. And if that's the case, you want to use perhaps something else. Yeah, so you don't have to use paper dolls if you want to join this tag challenge. That's what I'm trying to say. No, why not? And then, where are my butterflies? I am going to take some butterflies from my shop. So if you are in the need of butterflies, I will link you some items that will not become a sentence, Luise. I will link some items from my shop down below for you. So that are fuzzy cut butterflies. There are different sets available in my shop. So I have cut those in half so that I now can glue the, holy crap, the wings to the paper dolls. Okie dokie, here we go. Haha. So then let's take some quotes. The quotes that I'm going to use come from the Small Talk pad by Tim Holtz. And I want to choose some that makes sense in combination with what I'm doing here at the moment. I'm celebrating this great community, and so because of that I want to use that this has a connection. Be open to whatever comes next is something that is really important. I think when you have a YouTube channel and if you do something similar to what I'm doing here, I think it's really important. And if you are a creative person and you want to grow as an artist, then I think this is even more important, to be open to whatever comes next. Otherwise you can't grow. That's my opinion. You have to embrace the journey. Thank you, Tim, for all of these great quotes. I mean, it's just yeah. It's just great. I don't want to have a Luise talk about this Small Talk pad because then the video would take forever. But this is really great. It's just awesome because there are so many quotes that fit so well to what we are doing as creatives, and to embrace the journey is, in my eyes, really important. And this like belongs together somehow, because if you can't embrace the journey and if you can't be open to whatever comes next, you can't grow, you can't learn, you can't, you know, there's no Fortkommen in German. You can't imagine how hard this sometimes is for me. I would also love to take hold tight and pretend it's a plan. That is also something, yeah, one of the most important things, I would say. This is a critical one, but I want to use it. When you know better, do better. It depends on the interpretation, if this is critical or not. But in my in my little world, this is a little bit critical, because sometimes, and I have to admit, some of the German and some of the Austrian people are like crazy with that. And it's a really big difference to the people I know from overseas and the people I know from Germany and Austria. That is like a cultural thing, I think. Sometimes when, for example, a German or an Austrian person, yeah, would know something better, then it's for that person sometimes more important to say 10 times after each other that he or she knows it better, but he or she isn't doing it. Yeah. And that is exactly what this says. When you know better, then do better, but please just do it. Yeah. And don't only talk about it, but just do it. So now we have these. These can dry now, and then they are finished. And perhaps you might have asked the whole time, What the heck? What the heck can I win when I join this giveaway? Well, I'm telling you now what you can win. I couldn't tell you that beforehand because this is what you can win. Yeah, so we will have 4 winners and each of the winners will get one of these tags. Oh, hot coffee is way better than cold coffee, isn't it? So let's talk about the probably most important question of the whole video. How can you enter the giveaway? You have to create your own set of 4 tags. You can follow my little tutorial step by step, or you can, of course, as always with all of my videos, it's the same, vary what I have done. And when you have this collection of tags, you make a photo of the tags, yeah, like a little group photo. All of the 4 tags have to be in this one photo. This photo you take and then you post that to one of your social media platforms. That could be your Facebook profile, or you could post that also in my Facebook group. The link is down below in the description box. You can post that to your Instagram or Pinterest, or if you have a blog, then you can also post it there. If you have a YouTube channel, then please think about if you want to make a video about the tags. And then after you have posted that to one of your accounts, you take the link to that post and comment with the link below this video. Yeah, you just copy the link and paste it into the comment that you leave below this video. And I say this and I make like this so extremely because, please, attention, you have to comment below exactly this video. Yeah, the deadline for your comment is the 19th of October. Everything that I've just said is also written down below this video in the description box so that you can also read it again and make some notes or whatever you want to do. So please check out the info box. And now I would like to talk about a comment that I got below one of my past videos. In the beginning, I told you that I would like to use the chance of these 40K party videos to talk about several different things where I normally don't have the chance to do that. I will first read the comment, and it's a little bit hard because I have to translate that into English. It was originally a German comment, but I think the things that go through my mind with this comment are very important for what I'm doing here and can be important for you as well. So that's the reason why I'm doing this whole thing here, yeah. So Lydia has written this comment below one of my videos where I made something with the Tim Holtz ideology products. I have said in that video that the ideology products give me a really big amount of inspiration, that they bring things to reality that have been in my mind, and those products are helping me a lot to be able to create what I have in my mind. Yeah, so that this little explanation that you understand what Lydia has written in her comment. The comment starts with the question, why are you doing that? And she is pointing out that her question, why are you doing that, is a serious question. That was the first point where I was like, wait a moment. Why? Why the heck do we need to point out that we are asking a serious question? I mean, that should be the most normal thing in this world, that when I ask a question, that I mean that question seriously. Totally not understandable for me. So this comment has really, how do you say that in English? Constructive critic in it. And I think that those comments are relatively rare. And that is also the reason why I have picked out this comment and why I talk about that in a video. But this is so important to me, and I think it's worth it to think about what she has written. I mean, it feels like in this social media world, everyone is like incognito, yeah, like with a mask, because we don't look each other into the eyes when we talk to each other. And that makes everything like so open for bad words that really hurts my heart, because there are those people, or it seems that there are those people who write a really nice comment. Oh, Luise, that is really nice what you have done here, done there, so beautiful. And then they take their phone and call their crafty friend and say, Luise is the biggest idiot in the whole world. Yeah, do you know those people writing something nice here, and when they talk to someone else, they say something really bad about the person? I will probably never hear that, and it's the problem of the person who is doing that, of course, but how crazy is that? That is so, so bad. And then the other group of people seems to be like, oh, it's social media. I can write what I want. I can leave the baddest words because it's just a written comment, and I'm here like incognito with my mask and nobody knows me, so I can write the baddest things that I can imagine. But those comments, like Lydia's comment is, are really rare, because she is, she criticizes something, but in a really constructive way. And I really, really appreciate that, because when I'm sitting here, I'm trying my best. Yeah, I try to give 100%, but it can always happen that only 70% reaches my audience. Yeah, and that my audience, you, perhaps get something totally wrong what I'm telling here, especially because English is not my mother language, and sometimes perhaps when I say something, it sounds not like what I was trying to say, and you understand it in a totally different way. And then it's of course important that we talk about that, yeah, because what am I doing here? I'm sharing my life with you. I'm sharing 24/7, yeah, of my life. And I think it should be worth it to talk about those things, especially when there are some problems or things that you can't understand or think, what is she doing there? Yeah, so exactly what Lydia has written. Why are you doing that? And then she writes that she wants to contradict. Is that the word? That she wants to contradict. I have never used that word. I've just looked that up. Must be the right word. To what I said when I said that the ideology products are giving me a lot of inspiration and bring to life what is in my mind. And I was like, okay, how is that possible? You can't contradict something like that. Because if someone says, this is my emotion and this is what I'm feeling when I use this or that, it doesn't have to be ideology, can happen with any other thing as well. It can also happen with a packaging paper that you've just taken out from the trash can, yeah? But when you say, my emotion is this or that, then you can't, another person can't say that is not true. Because when you feel it like that, then it is the truth and it is your reality. And she says that, holy crap, that is really hard for me to translate into English. So she tries to say that I am an artist in her eyes. And of course, that makes me really happy. It has taken a very long time until I could see myself as an artist. And I think, by the way, it doesn't matter if other people see you as an artist. The most important thing is that you can see yourself as an artist if you want that, if you want to be one. And she says it is easier, and then she makes an example, to paint a flower meadow while you are sitting among the flowers. Yeah, so she says when you have products, it's easier to create something. So she's like comparing the flower meadow with the ideology products. And she says it's easier when you have products to create something, it's easier to paint a flower meadow when you are sitting among the flowers. But in her eyes, a real artist can also paint the flowers while sitting in a really dark room without any windows, closed eyes, you know, with a pencil and a piece of paper. And she also says very, very cute and nice things about my person. Yeah, that is something that I also want to say here, that it seems to sound very negative what she is writing here, but it is not negative at all, because she is asking something where I have a very clear answer to the question. And I think it's important to ask those questions to get an answer for yourself as well. Because why are we doing this whole thing? That is her question as well. Why are you doing this? And it's important in my eyes that you find an answer to that question for yourself. So let's imagine we are sitting among a ton of wildflowers and we want to paint those wildflowers. But we are sitting there with a piece of paper and a pencil. How big is the frustration when you go home and you think, okay, I have a black and white sketch, a black and white drawing of those flowers, but this drawing is missing all of those wonderful colors that the flowers had. And I was not able to paint a realistic picture of those flowers because I didn't have the right mediums, because I just had the pencil and my paper. And I think this frustration can be so big. And why can't I go to a craft shop, buy mediums with which I am able to paint all of those colors of the flowers? Why is it a question? Why are you doing that? Why do you use ideology products, and why do you, for example, use Ranger mediums? Why do you have so many of the Ranger mediums? You don't need all of that. Yeah, but if you have the wish to paint all of the colors of the flowers, then how to do that with a pencil? That's not possible. And I think everyone should have the right to go and buy those products and use those products if he or she has the wish to paint the flower meadow in its entire color palette. And then let's think about the real artist in Lydia's eyes. Yeah, she says the real artist can sit in a really dark and empty room with a piece of paper and a pencil, and the real artist can visualize the flower meadow without actually seeing it, and can paint the flowers without seeing them. But excuse me, you are sitting in a really dark room with a piece of paper and a pencil, and you want to tell me that you can paint a colorful flower meadow with a pencil? Are you a magician or what? So you can hear I'm joking a little bit. It's hard for me to say what I want to say in English. Yeah, you see I'm struggling a little bit with my words, but how? Yeah, I can't do a magic trick to create something that is colorful if I only have a pencil. I need mediums. Yeah, and then there's the choice. Which brand do I use? Do I want to have several different brands, or do I want to concentrate on one brand? That is my own decision. And then I think it is very important to also think about those people who are sitting in a dark and empty room without choosing to sit there. I'm talking about those people who say, and I get those comments so often, who say, Luise, I appreciate your videos because I am not able to find my own ideas. And I think that is a really, really big point, and that is a really big problem. You think, perhaps you might think, that the people you watch on YouTube, and I'm not only talking about myself, but about all of the other creators as well, it might seem that they get ideas and inspiration very easily. But what you see when you watch a video is the finished video. Yeah, the person has already come up with the idea, has created the thing that you can see in the video, has edited the video, uploaded it, and you are consuming the finished content, the finished idea, the idea that already has come to life. You would never see the person struggling with, oh, today I have a little headache, I don't feel like I want to sit in front of my camera, I don't want to sit at my craft desk at all, yeah? You won't see that. But that is the reality of, I would say, most of the people out there, yeah? Especially those who don't have an art education, yeah? So everything, for example, I know, and all of the skills that I might have, I have taught myself, yeah? I have never had an art class. I have not studied art or something like that at the university. I have never taken art classes. Everything I know because I have watched YouTube tutorials and did what the people have done there and tried it out. I have done a lot of experimenting, and I have taught everything. I have taught myself everything without a teacher. Yeah, so that is also something where I think we should think about for a minute. If you say about yourself that you are not able to find your own ideas, is that a problem? It is a problem for you because you want to create something and you are stuck somehow. But it is so cool that there are so many people out there who can give you this first initial piece that you need to get an idea and then turn it into your own. Yeah, but once you have started thinking about the idea, then it is relatively easy to find more ideas. But if you have nothing, that is so terrible. Yeah, when I sit on my desk and I think, oh, today I have absolutely no idea, that is such a terrible feeling. Yeah, and you won't see that because when you watch my videos, this period of time has already gone. Yeah, and I found the idea, otherwise you couldn't watch the video because it wouldn't be existing. Yeah, but I think it is very important that we accept that it is normal that we sometimes don't have ideas, and that we appreciate that we can get ideas from other people. And my biggest wish is always, when I make a video, that you get inspired and that you can find an idea from what I am doing here. You don't have to like what I do. Yeah, I also don't like everything what I see. I see things where I think, that is absolutely not my taste, but this technique I want to try. This technique I want to try with the colors that I love. This technique I want to try with the materials that I like, even if I didn't like what the person has made there. Yeah, but that is normal, and that is how our brain can learn what are the things that I like? What is my style, for example? Yeah, how can I reach that I can say I have an own style? I have to put the things into like categories. I have to say, I don't like that, but I like that. And I will pick this from here and this from there and put that together to make my own thing out of that. And again, when we talk about ideology products, why is Barbara sending me photos Ah, I'm totally confused. I'm so sorry. I'm looking to my camera, and there on the top of the screen, there's always this like Instagram message popping. What is she doing? She's sending photos and photos and photos. This running gag obviously hasn't stopped. Barbara, stop it. I can't concentrate here. This is very difficult for me to do. Holy crap. Now I lost my sentence. I have decided to, my creative emotion and my way of creating something, my way of working. My brain has decided that I like, for example, the Tim Holtz ideology products. My brain has decided that I can do really cool things with that. But that doesn't mean that you can't get an inspiration from such a video if you don't have or don't like the ideology products. Do you know what I mean? You can watch such a video and get an inspiration, and the difficult thing, I don't say that that is easy, but the thing is you can transfer that to what you have at home. The products that you like, the materials that you have collected over the years. And of course, when I make a video with, for example, ideology products, I don't say, go to the next craft shop and buy all of that, otherwise you couldn't realize your idea. I'm not saying that. Yeah, but I have to use the things that I love in my videos. Otherwise, I couldn't do this whole thing here. Yeah, I am doing this 24/7 and I'm trying to make a living out of this whole thing. So if I would use things that I don't like, what shall I do? Shall I lie and say, oh, look, this product from this or that shop, it's so nice, and when I use it, it falls apart, or, you know, bad quality or whatever. Shall I lie? I can't lie. I would never, 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 never use products in my videos where I think that is the biggest shit on earth. Yeah, so I'm trying to have good quality videos, and that means I want to use good quality products. And how can I do that? Buy them, test them, think for my needs, it's good quality, and then I can show it to you and say, if you want to do something like this, I can recommend to use this product. There are many people, and that is also something that Lydia has written, like in between the lines of her comment. Many people ask me, why do you focus on the Tim Holtz products? I don't want to go too much into detail about that in this video, because I want to talk about this Tim Holtz thing in another video, a little bit more in detail. But this comment from Lydia and what I'm trying to say here has a context to Tim and the products. Besides the fact that Tim himself had and has a really big influence on me, there are a few other things that I have in my mind why I am doing what I'm doing here. Those things don't have to do anything with Tim directly. Yeah, so let's say all of those products would exist, but without his face. Yeah, so without him existing. I mean, that would be a catastrophe, but please, let's just imagine that. Yeah, how would you choose products, and especially mediums, that you would incorporate to your artsy stuff, to your creations? How do you do that? You see something somewhere in a video, on a craft fair, in a craft shop, online or wherever, and you think, okay, that seems to be something that I could need or that I could use to create something beautiful. Then you buy that. And then you find out it works for you or it doesn't work for you. If it doesn't work for you, you wouldn't buy a second color of this or that ink pad, for example. Yeah, let's say that was an ink pad, what you've bought in the beginning. If you don't like it or it doesn't work for you, you wouldn't buy a second color. But if it works, you think, oh, perhaps if I would have not only brown, but also other colors, that would be nice. And you start like building a collection of those mediums that you think work the best for you. Ranger is a brand that has a lot of different mediums for different techniques. I think if you have several different mediums from Ranger in like a color palette, you have everything you need to create beautiful art and to bring ideas to life. They have, I think, in my opinion, they have everything that you need. Yeah. Please. I'm afraid to ask this question. It's a weird question because I'm not Google. But tell me another brand that has like such a cohesive palette of mediums, not only color-wise, but medium-wise as well. Tell me a second brand. I don't know one. And the thing is, for junk journaling and what I am doing, you want to try so many different techniques. You want to, the one day you want, for example, to create a nice grungy background. The next day you want to stencil something. The next day you want to paint the flower meadow. And you need different mediums because with junk journaling you have so many different surfaces, because you have so many different papers, that you would need different mediums to not be disappointed. Yeah, because again, the frustration of doing something and ruining your project. I mean, what the heck? That is the most terrible thing that can happen. Yeah, and that doesn't mean that you have to buy Ranger products. That doesn't mean that you have to buy ideology products. That doesn't mean that you have to make an order for your ephemera with the Ranger color palette. Yeah, so perhaps you are wondering about that. I have that relatively new. I have never shown that in one of my videos. To create beautiful art and to find your style and to be satisfied with what you have created, to be happy about a creative process, you don't need that. You definitely don't need that. But for my brain, it's a massive help to have that. Yeah, so basically these are all of the Ranger colors. Yeah, those things are labeled with the Ranger color names. I will make a separate video about that one day, I'm sure. And my brain thinks in this color palette. And that is only one example for the things I have in my studio here that help me to organize what is in my brain and to organize my ideas, to find the right colors. Yeah. And if that helps me, that's nice. I'm happy, but that doesn't mean that it has to necessarily help you as well. It can happen that you are in front of this shelf and you think that looks nice, but I can't work with this system. And that's totally fine. And I think the most crazy thing is that we have to talk about why are you doing that. I really appreciate Lydia's comment, and I appreciate that she gave me those thoughts, and I appreciate that you are listening. Really. But isn't it a little bit sad that we have to talk about that? Isn't it a little bit sad that we have to explain ourselves? Why don't we use the time that we need for that to find new ideas? Why don't we use that time where we write a bad comment, like, you know, the other comments that we sometimes get? Why don't we use that time to inspire each other, to be happy about an idea, to be happy about a video that we were allowed to watch because someone else has created it, and we can soak inspiration from that. All of those negative things and this always like why and those bad words, I think hinder your heart and your soul and your creative brain and your body and everything to find the really important things. And if you think about all of those terrible things that are going on this earth, why don't we just take a minute and be thankful for what we have? When I think about the things that I had to do in my life before I was able to do this here, I often ask myself, why? Why have I done that? But instead of asking, and I'm like telling that myself, yeah, why do you ask yourself, why have you done that? Because take the time to see what you have now and take the time to appreciate the community. But sometimes we have to reflect things and we have to realize why we have done things in the past to be able to see the things that we have now, yeah, without this comparison. Perhaps we can't appreciate so good what we have now, but we are in such a great community, yeah, and there are so many people who have, for example, health issues, yeah. Let's take this big it's really hard for me to talk about that because I think it's so crazy, because there are so many people who struggle with health issues, other issues. Of course, money is a big thing, yeah. If your budget is not big enough to afford things that you see in a video, that could be a problem. But please, 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 all of the people who show you junk journal tutorials, card tutorials or whatever, they want to inspire you. They don't want you to be sad because you don't have the same supplies. Yeah, we all try to give you alternatives, and not in every video we talk about a list, yeah, alternatively to this or that, you can use this or this or that or that or that, because we sometimes don't think about that, yeah, because we have the mediums that we use, and then we perhaps don't think about that in that moment. And I think it should be possible that you think about alternatives by yourself, even if you don't get a whole list in every video. And of course, we want you to be inspired. We don't want you to be sad that you don't have what we have, yeah? I'm also not sad because I don't have this or that watercolor palette that another YouTube creator has that I am watching. But besides the fact that I'm trying to make a living out of this, I want to inspire you, and I want that we have a great time together. And that is why I am doing that. And that is completely, I think the word is independent, I think so, from the rest. Yeah, my wish that we have a nice time together, and that we, I mean, look, we are friends, even if we don't know each other in person. Yeah, I have so many friends that I would have never met in my life without this thing. And that is just so great. And my biggest wish, and that is why I am doing this, is that we can keep this community and inspire each other, be friendly and, you know, kind, and leave nice words, lift each other up, help each other, and all of those things. That is my biggest wish, and that is why I am doing that. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes we should find an answer for ourselves to the following question. What does this community do for me? What can I soak from the fact that I have the chance to know all of those people, that I have the chance to watch all of those videos. What can I soak from that? Whew. So that was my little longer Luise talk. I hope we will see the next time. Have a very great day, and especially a creative day. And I wish you a lot of inspiration, and I wish that you can find those ideas that make you happy and that make your creative heart satisfied, because that is the most important thing of all things here. See you the next time. Bye bye.